leadership, situational leadership. Some of the leadership styles are autocratic, democratic, bureaucratic, and there are some more styles. There's one person, he's done a substantial amount of work. His name is Daniel Goleman. He wrote a book on emotional intelligence and it became the bestseller. And he has also identified 6 different types of styles, and they are visionary, coaching, democratic, pace setting, commanding, affiliative. We won't be discussing that because that's not the point of discussion. Now, there is another person. His name is John Colleen Maxwell. He's the leadership guru, and he has written many books. His books are 21 Indispensable Qualities. If you want, you can refer them. Another is 21 Laws of Leadership, and he has given, which is very popular in the corporate world, which he talks about 5 levels of leadership, which makes a company from being a good company to a great. And his emphasis is that a company becomes great only because of leaders. And if the company has good leaders, it will be able to raise its potential, become a great company. But in that whole discussion where he mentions about 5 levels of leadership, the first one he talks about, the first level is that we actually move step by step. From level 1, we move to highly capable individuals. We move to level 2, that is contributing team member. Third, competent manager. Fourth, effective leader. And fifth is executive leaders. Now he says that this, in any organization, there is a gradual progression from one level to the next one. But the important point that he tries to make here is, I'll read it out. When they put larger good ahead, here is people on that level, people. When they put larger good ahead of them, they transcend to the next level. It says that if people, they have to move from one level to the next level, they won't be able to do that if they don't consider the good of the larger people. Means they have to move from selfish good to the selfless good. And the key here is this, that if people, they want to progress in life, their interest should not be wasted interest, but their interest should be for the benefit of the larger community. And that's the point he's trying to make, that if anyone wants to progress from one to another, he needs to consider the good of others. And this is the crucial, this is the message that Bhagavad Gita tries to display. And this is what it is called as Nishkam Karmyog. This is in chapter 2, 47, very famous. It's everywhere. They talk about this, that you need not worry about the fruit, but you keep doing what you're supposed to do. And in plain and simple terms, it is selfless action. You see action, inaction, and inaction, action means it will make sense. What you see is that if there is no action, it says seeing action where there is no action, and then seeing inaction where there is action. This is the idea that is trying to relate. And here, there's the message there. We won't dwell on this for long. We'll move to another. There's another which is important because it's important because we work in commercial and corporate setup. So it's also important to actually understand that. There's another theory which is also important. Important in the sense that it will actually help us in understanding the behaviors. This is called as Blake and Mouton managerial grid. It talks about 2 points. It says that everyone is a leader, everyone is a manager, but there are 2 types. Some managers are people-centric, some managers are product-centric. Product-centric are those, like, they only concentrate on the delivery of tasks. They are more particular about the activities in their schedule. Activity 1, 2, 3, and so on. That they are more product-centric. People-oriented, they are less product-oriented. People-oriented are that they actually are more outgoing, more friendly, and they try to keep their team together. They try to build their team. That's the idea. But it is a good combination if a person is people oriented and product oriented, but it won't be in the same proportion. The proportion would actually vary, but it is good. But generally what happens is that someone is product oriented, another is people oriented. Now we'll move to the third slide. Here, this is where the actual discourse happens. Now, this is giving us a message, and the message is that Arjuna is suffering from performance anxiety. He has got nervous breakdown. He is unable to perform. The excuse may be anything. All that time he has been saying that I need my kingdom back. But when the actual thing happens, when he is there, when he is facing the reality of the world, when he is facing the real problem which is confronting him, he is unable to fight, he is unable to perform, and he is suffering from performance anxiety, and this happens with everyone. We want something. We want something by heart. But when the time comes, we suffer from that lack of confidence. We think that we won't be able to deliver, we won't be able to achieve. And that's the idea. Now he says to Krishna that take me to the center of the battlefield. Again, here he's trying to display that idea of strategic leadership. Here, Krishna and Arjuna, they're facing each other. Now, Krishna is a leader, but Arjuna is not a leader. He's a leader in making. Krishna is able to understand the dilemmas of Arjuna, that he's not able, and so he's trying to convince him, look, you need to fight, that is your duty, this is what you have accepted, this is what you have been asking for, and now when the time is there, you don't want to fight. And as the saying goes, that you can lead the horse to the water, but you cannot make him drink water. So that's the situation. All that time he has received all the coaching, Arjuna. Now when he's on the battlefield, he's unable to perform. And he says with his folded hands, Krishna, help me out. I am depressed. I don't know what to do. How can I kill my relatives? How can I kill my guru? How can I kill my friends? But these things, look, these things he had, you cannot, means what the point here is that he knew all that. He realized it, that this is going to happen. Before actually preparing himself for this battlefield, he should have thought about those things, rather discussing those things on the battlefield. And this happens with every one of us. Every one of us, we suffer from this lack of confidence when the D time comes. And it is not Arjuna in that situation, it is all of us in the same situation, whether it is anything, whether it is a matter of promotion, or it is a matter of giving a public presentation or speaking publicly, or anything. The moment when it comes which is challenging us to come out of our comfort zone, we are uncomfortable. And then the fear comes in. And that, because Krishna is a leader, he cannot back out. And now this responsibility has been thrust on him to convince him that you need to do your duty. And in this 18 chapters and 700 verses, the topic ranges from macrocosm to the microcosm. It ranges from the universe to the little universe, which is Atma, the self which resides within us. And he takes all different approaches, he takes all different styles to actually convince Arjuna. Now we'll move to the next one. Now, what is leadership? Peter Drucker, he is supposed to be the father of management, and he defines the only definition of leader is someone who has followers. Is that right? Anyone can have a follower for all wrong reasons, and that doesn't make him a leader. That's my opinion. Second, he's again a very authoritative person on leadership, Warren Bennis. He says leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Is that right? I don't think so. Because everyone has a vision, and that vision can be translated into reality. I have a vision that I should have a vegetable garden, and I can transform my vision into reality by planting few plants, but that doesn't make me a leader. It's because the definition should be very universal, and it should be very accurate, and it should be practical and applicable in all situations. Second, Bill Gates needs no introduction. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Is that right? We empower everyone. We empower our domestic helpers. We empower our children. We empower in the organization, in our team, our subordinates. Does that make us leader? Now, in the earlier introduction, I was talking about John C. Maxwell, and he's the person, he has written so many books on leadership. If you have time, you can refer it. And he says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And again, that's not true. Leadership is influence, but that is not true, that just the influence will make you a leader. And that is a definition of leadership, because everyone is able to influence someone at some point, but that doesn't make him a leader. Now, what is there in Oxford Dictionary? The Oxford Dictionary says the action of leading a group of people or organization, or the ability to do this. Here, the important point, the important word over here is lead. Is important. The most relevant point is be in charge or command of, organize and direct, set a process in motion, be a reason or motive for others to act, change, and that is precisely what leadership is. It is not one definition that is appropriate to define leadership. In reality, leadership is combination of everything. Leadership, in my opinion, it actually combines Peter Drucker's view, it combines Warren Besant's view, it combines Bill Gates' view, it combines John Maxwell views, and in collection, in totality, it defines leadership. No one definition can be used to actually define leadership. Now, leadership is a process of creating social influence which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of goal, and that is a leader, and that is a leadership. And whoever is able to maximize someone's effort to achieve a goal and is able to create that influence is a leader. And a leader is someone, and to be in a plain and simple word, leader is someone who leads others. Now, based upon Krishna's life and on what the virtues that are stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13 and chapter 16, I have extracted 10 C's. And those C's are common sense, communication, commitment, competence, confidence, conviction, character, courage, clarity, and coach. We won't discuss this in depth. Maybe in next session, if possible, we may elaborate on that, because it requires a substantial amount of discussion. But these are and this is what, when I talk about the skills, these are the skills that we need. But these skills, and this is what we need to unlock our potential. These are the potentials that resides within us. It is not that it is not there. We don't have to attend any universities, or we have to read any books to actually understand that these basic qualities are already within us. What we need to realize is that we need to unlock those potentials, and that is the art. How do you unlock that? And that is, we'll be moving to the next section to answer that question. But basically, the skills that we have is common sense. What is common sense? It is abundance of common sense is wisdom. Abundance of common sense is wisdom. If we have common sense, we are wise. Communication. The point is that we have got 2 ears and 1 mouth. That is more, that defines it, what we need to do, that we need to listen more and talk less. That is communication, and that is one of the qualities of the leaders. Second is commitment. What is commitment? There is a difference between commitment and promise. Promise is a statement of intent, and commitment is a promise that is going to be kept no matter what. That is what it is, commitment. That promise, I have an intention to do something, but commitment is that no matter what, I will keep my promise. That is commitment. Now, competence and confidence, they go hand in hand. Confidence without competence is delusional, and competence without confidence is unfulfilled potential. So if we have confidence but if we lack competence, it is useless. And if we have confidence but we don't have competence, again it is useless. So we need to have that right combination of competence and confidence. Now, conviction. Conviction is, there is a phrase, preferences give way under pressure, convictions don't. That is what conviction is. If you have a preference in life that I can do this, I can do that, under pressure, that is going to crumble down. But if there is a conviction, no matter what, I will do it, that is conviction. Character. Character is actually inner strength, inner belief, trusting in your own abilities. That is character, and that comes from something which is called as conscience. There is something which is conscience. Conscience is different from consciousness. Conscience is actually voice of consciousness. That is there. So the strength of your conscience is your character. Now, courage. Courage is fearless, not to fear. Swami Vivekananda says that fear is weakness and weakness is sin. So that is your courage, not to fear, no matter what, never fear. And there's a quotation that is coming to my mind, I think it's from Abraham Lincoln. He says that never fear to negotiate, but never negotiate out of fear. And that is courage. Courage not to fear, fearlessness. And there is something just on that point. Look, fear itself is, it's a misnomer. If we look at this word carefully, F stands for false, E stands for evidence, A stands for appear, and R stands for real. It says false evidence appearing real. That is what it is, fear. Fear is the creation of mind, and that is again that principle that we come to. So just to recollect things, what the point that we are trying to discuss here is that we have the potential, and then we need to unlock those potentials. And what are those potentials? Those potentials are 10 C's. From where did we get those 10 C's? Those 10 C's are coming from chapter 13 and chapter 16, and they are coming from the life of Krishna. And those 13 C's are present in everyone. What we need to realize is that we need to unlock it, uncover it. And how do we cover it? By the principle of mind management. Now, we will move to the, and then we have got clarity. Clarity is clarity of thinking, clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. That is important as a leader. And then we need to be a coach. We should be able to coach and mentor people from time to time, there without any feeling or having that intention of competing with someone. The coach is a person who is selflessly trying to motivate someone to achieve his best. That is a coach, trying to bring the best in others, not trying to dig dirt. Now, in the next one, see, I'll just read the slides. And the slide, the view, why Krishna is a leader, why I'm just saying that Krishna is a leader. Swami Vivekananda's view is, Krishna is the most rounded man I know of, wonderfully developed, equally in brain, heart and hand. Every moment is alive with activity, either as a gentleman, warrior, minister, or something else. 5,000 years have passed and he has influenced millions and millions. That is a leader. That is the mark of a leader. Second, Osso's view. And there is a reason for having Osso's view, because Osso has got a very different thinking ability. He generally disagrees with most of the things. And here it is important that if he agrees with Krishna's life, so it's worth stating it then. He accepts life in all its features. He is Krishna. In all its climates and colors. He alone does not choose. He accepts life unconditionally. He does not reject love. He alone does not turn his face from war. He is full of love and compassion, and yet he has the courage to accept. Courage is important. See, courage to accept and fight a war. His heart is utterly non-violent, yet he plunges into the fire of violence when it becomes unavoidable. He accepts the nectar, and yet he is not afraid of poison. This is a mark of the leader. So we have discussed what makes Krishna a great leader. Those 10 qualities, those 10 attributes makes him a great leader. And why is he a leader? And that is basically 2 paras, which is trying to testify that Krishna is a leader. Now, we'll move to the next one. Now, in that battle context, he's taking a very compassionate style approach. Chapter 2 and slok 2 and 3, Arjun says to Krishna, look, I cannot fight. Please, I'm weak. I cannot hold my hands straight. I cannot face the enemy. And he's standing in the middle of the battlefield. Krishna says that he's trying to be compassionate, and in chapter 1 and the last sloka of chapter 1, where the word is used compassionately, Arjuna mentions, and Arjuna says that, look, please, I cannot fight. And then he takes a very compassionate approach, Krishna, and he says that's the style that we need to use from time to time, and that's the style that he has taken. He says that, look, Arjun, don't succumb to this weakness. Stand up and fight. This is your duty. This is your dharma. You need to do it. And this is not going to give you anything. This will bring infamy. And Arjuna continues, no, I can't, please help me, I can't do this. And he's taken he's taking a very compassionate style, and he keeps on repeating the same thing, that no, I can't do it. And that happens with every one of us, that we actually say that when the time comes, we actually say that no, I can't do it. And then the people, those who are close to us, will try to motivate us. They'll try 1, 2, 3 or 4 times, and that's it, they give up. But Krishna is different. Krishna is a leader, and he said that no, I won't give up, because that's the duty, that's the dharma, because that's what he has accepted. He has accepted to be his sarthi. He has accepted to join him in the battlefield. He has accepted to be part of this battle, and now he cannot run away. If there was someone else, Arjuna said that, look, I can't fight, the person would say, okay, doesn't matter, if you can't fight, let's go home, we'll go home. But here Krishna has got a duty, and he cannot run away from the duty that has been assigned, or he has taken it. He is swadharma. He has accepted something, and he cannot run away from that. Look, and here the point is that all the battles are fought in the mind first, and all the battles are lost in the mind first before it is lost on the battlefield. And Arjuna has already lost the battle, because if he says that he cannot fight, and he has lost the battle. The game is not over until it is over. The game is always over in the mind. Once you think you are defeated, you're defeated. And there is an important poem which is from Walter de Winter. He says that, and there's a lengthy poem, we can find it on the internet. It says that if you think you have lost, you have lost. And that is the mind. Mind is very important, and that's the thing where Krishna is going to attack. He's going to attack the mind. Mind is the weakest part. And this is the idea that he's trying to put forward. Again, it's no use. Arjuna says, "No, sorry, I can't fight. Please, please not fight and give it up." Then again, he takes a different approach. He takes a situational style. Krishna he now changes from a compassionate to a situational style, where he continues saying that in all that chapter 2, he off and on he repeats that, "Look, I can't fight, and I cannot face my family, I cannot kill my guru, I cannot kill my relatives, and there's no point, and then all that excuses that is there, the escapist attitude that we actually have, that what is the use of doing this, what are we going to achieve from this? So, and that Arjuna comes into that mode, and he says that, look, even if I win this war, what am I going to achieve? Half of my relatives, they'll be killed, so we are not going to gain anything, so let's go back. Now, he takes a very situational style, and he analyzes it that this won't help, and then hence there are 18 chapters and 700 verses. And look, here Arjuna says in chapter 2, slok 7, "Please help me." And that is literally what it means in that sloka 7, that please help me. And that's the situational now. Krishna has got this onus of convincing him, helping him out, from taking him out from this dilemma, taking him out from this frustration and performance anxiety and nervous breakdown. And then when he says that, "Please help me," and then Krishna takes a different approach, and he discusses all those 700 verses, and from chapter 1 to chapter 18. And the style now he's taking, Krishna, the style that he's taking here is a coaching style. And now he is identified as a leader, he has identified what is the weakness, and as a leader he has identified that the mind is the weakest. And he's trying to attack the mind. And what is a mind? Mind is a philosophical term which has not been scientifically proved. It is, we could rather say it is a psychological and a philosophical word, but scientifically it has not been proved. But mind is a bundle of thoughts, and here Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna to understand his own mind, which is actually trying to speak to Arjuna that, look, we cannot fight. And that is what he says. He says in chapter 6 and verse 5 that your mind is such a strong that it can elevate you or it can degrade you. Literally, that's what it says, that it can elevate you or it can degrade you. What you need to do is that you need to raise yourself through your mind, because your mind is your friend and your mind is your enemy. If your mind is uncontrolled, it becomes your enemy. And if your mind is controlled, it becomes your friend. Same thing is said by Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak said that you master your mind, otherwise mind will master you. There is another thing which was said by Napoleon Hill, author of Grow Rich, so Think and Grow Rich, the author of Think and Grow Rich. He said that you must conquer yourself, otherwise self will conquer you. Here the idea is that you need to actually understand your mind. Our mind is very important, that you need to understand your mind. And this, so the word here is mind management. Management, if we analyze this word as management, I'm just being cautious of the time as well. So mind management is, if we see the word as management, management is management. Management means managing resources. Fine. Now if we remove N from that, it becomes manage me. We have removed T from management, it becomes management. We remove N from management, it becomes manage me. Here the challenge is no one can be a good manager who cannot manage himself. He needs to have that art, and no one can be a good leader who's not able to manage his own self. So that's what it is. And how can you manage your own self? By watching your own mind, by reading your own mind, by managing your own mind. And by the way, this word manage comes from it is a Latin word, and it means manegra, which means to control, to master, to control. And basically in somewhere in 1700s, this word was actually used for managing horses. So that's where it has been used. After Industrial Revolution, this has come into our corporate setup, that we use this word very often. Management, in reality, it goes to that Italian setup, where it was used for controlling the horses, and in more or less we think that we're